Hiya and welcome to the James Oliver Guitar Channel, and today this is part 9 of the vinyl records that inspire me / albums I love series. This is the 9th part now, and there's plenty more albums to choose from, so we're going to jump right in, and there's another mixed bag today. Up first, this is the Best of Buck Owens Volume 2. I got The Tiger by the Trail, Together Again, Act Naturally, Buckaroo, the great Buck Owens, Don Rich on lead guitar. Sadly, this is the only Buck Owens LP I've got. I've got some CDs as well, but I'm a fan of Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. I love the sparkly silver Telecasters, the suits they wear. You know, their musicianship is wonderful. The songs are wonderful. The harmonies, the singing is wonderful. It's great country music, which I recommend everybody checks out. Buck Owens. And of course his Buckaroos. There's the back of the cover, look, with all their photos on a cowboy hat. So we got a bit of a mix today. Up next, Pee Wee Crayton, The Things I Used to Do, sorry. This is on the Vanguard label. It came out in the 60s. Tracks like Every Night, Let the Good Times Roll, Blues After Hours, The Things I Used to Do, Long Tall Texan. There's Pee Wee there with his 50 Strat. Now, I got into Pee Wee Crayton from a guitar player called Junior Watson. Junior Watson is a West Coast blues guitar player who cites Pee Wee Crayton as one of his influences. And being such a fan of Junior, I thought I'll check him out and absolute knockout stuff. So there we are, that's the Pee Wee Crayton album, Things I Used to Do, which of course is the song was made famous by Guitar Slim. Let's have a look who's on here. Robert L. Dupree drums, Ben Brown bass, Larry Nash piano. I think this is an American press, I believe. I could be wrong, let me have a look. It's on the Gold Vanguard label. Some real cool stuff on the Vanguard label. I've got some Buddy Guy on there and some other stuff as well. So yeah, Pee Wee Crayton. Up next, something completely different. This is The Pretenders, the singles. This has got stuff on here like Kid and Brass in Pocket, Back on the Chain Gang. You know, Chrissy Hyde is... What a songwriter. What a great songwriter. Singer. I love the band. I love the modern lineup with James Wildborn on guitar and the pedal steel player. And of course, James Honeyman Scott was a guitar player in the band. I know Billy Bremner has played guitar in the band. This is just a singles compilation. And Nick Lowe she even done songs by Nick Lowe. So yeah, The Pretenders still going strong today. They got a new record out recently, which is quite punky. So yeah, The Pretenders. And from The Pretenders to quite a rare... Well, this is not a rare one, but it is a rare one if it was a first press. This, of course, is Frank Frost with the Night Hawks. Hey, Boss Man. This originally came out in the late 50s. And Sam Phillips from Sun was to do with it. This is the Charlie reissue. Charlie reissued loads of great rockabilly and blues and country in the 80s. And this has got stuff on there like Jerry Roll King, Now Twist, Big Boss Man, Jack's Jump, Just Come On Home. It's a really nice blues album. You know, I love the cover with the 50s Strat and the 50s Telly. And yeah, so that's Frank Frost with the Night Hawks. I doubt I'll ever see an original first press, never mind a fold one. So the Charlie reissue is perfect for that. So we are, Frank Frost. And now we're going to move on another direction totally. We've got some folk. Reels, Rags and Airs, Dave Swarbrick. There's Martin Carthy and Diz Disley. Of course, Martin Carthy is the finger-picking guitar guy. And I think this is the same Diz Disley that went on to do a lot of gypsy jazz stuff. I could be wrong, comment below. But of course, Dave Swarbrick is a virtuoso fiddle player who was in Fairport Convention. And this is a lot of early instrumental tunes that they used to do. And there's some real virtuoso guitar playing on this from a folk standpoint. virtuoso violin, fiddle playing on it as well. And I mean, there's lots of stuff on there. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the tunes, but they've been arranged by Martin Carthy and Dave Swarbrick. I'm not a massive expert on folk music, but I really do love this record. You know, they were young and they were in their prime. NRBQ, the New Rhythm and Blues Quartet. I've shown NRBQ stuff before. This is a classic lineup with Big Al Anderson on guitar, Terry Adams on keyboards, Tommy Ardanino on drums, and of course Joey Spantinato on bass and vocals. They're still going today, NRBQ, but this one has got some great songs on it, like It's a Wild Weekend, Little Floater, another favourite of mine, Bozo, That's Who, Like a Locomotive. I'm a massive fan of Big Al Anderson's guitar playing and his songwriting. Even if you've never heard Big Al, you've probably heard one of his songs. And of course Joey plays bass on the Chuck Berry film that Keith Richards made. He's on there playing bass. And Terry Adams is still in NRBQ today. Joey does gigs with his brother. And Big Al's a songwriter. And sadly Tommy the drummer passed away, but what a great drummer Tommy was. One of my all-time favourite drummers. So this is the old Wild Weekend album. Definitely worth a look. There's a really cool documentary on YouTube about them as well, which is something else to check out. Now then, my old mate Deke. This is Deke's third solo album, which he recorded in 79-80, Before Your Very Eyes. Even though Deke was in the psychedelic rock band Man, one of Wales's greatest ever bands, Deke was a rock and roller. We had many conversations about, the great rock and roll guitar players like Cliff Gallup and Grady Martin and Scotty Moore. And when we used to play together, we played about several gigs together. We used to do, we do man tunes, but we'd also do like Little Richard, Slipping and Sliding, and Elvis, Trying to Get to You. So this is Deke's sort of rock and roll album. Someone Is Calling, Fools Like Me, Marlene, Oh, Big Uncle Love, which of course is an Elvis cover. Bad Luck, The World Exploded in My Face. The CD version has got Map of India on it, which is a really cool Deke song. I think Dave Charles played drums on this as well. Yes, he did. And it was recorded in Rockfield and in other places, and it's just a really cool album. Someone Is Calling, got that great sort of Deke Leonard feel which he was famous for, like the dun 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 sort of thing, like. And yeah, I mean, there's some serious songs on here, like Fools Like Me, which is a song about the war. And yeah, this is on the United Artists, which of course Man was famous for being on United Artists. So yeah, that's Deke Leonard, Before Your Very Eyes. I got a lot of time for Deke, and I could talk about Deke all day. Now this is a weird one. The legendary Stardust Cowboy. This is on Big Beat Records. The legendary Stardust Cowboy it's sort of rockabilly, psychobilly, wild, weird. He's mad, basically. I suppose if Captain Beefheart decided he was going to do rockabilly, which I wish he tried, maybe he did, but I've never heard it. You probably get the legendary Stardust Cowboy. He does stuff on there like Paralysed. Instead of Cast Iron Arm, the Peanuts Wilson song, he does Cast Iron Apron. So there's a little bit of parody for you. So yeah, there he is. I bought this on a bit of a whim because obviously I knew about Big Beat Records and stuff from the 80s. And this came out in 85. So anyway, I seen this in a Oxfam shop, and I had a quick look on YouTube and thought, wow, that's a bit weird. So I thought, well, for a £5, we'll give it a go. And boy, I am glad I bought it. It is funny in places, but it's really cool. So there you are, the legendary Stardust Cowboy. You don't see that one very often. And now we're back on the Vanguard. This is a 60s album, The Great Buddy Guy. This is Buddy Guy. His fantastic in-person performance recorded live. I always like that when they say in person. When I used to have my band posters, when we used to do gigs, I used to have live and in person. I just got a thing about that. I just really like it. He does the things I'm used to do on this. He does the Eddie Floyd classic, Knock on Wood. I'm not the best. He's got the full band on you, and he's playing great. And I mean, I love that. I think the Hoodoo Man blues he made with Junior Wells is some of the finest blues ever put on record. But this is his solo album. Of course, he's still playing today with his polka dot Strat. I can't quite see what he's playing there. I don't know if it's some sort of Gold Starfire or something he played. Again, if you know, comment below, because I always need to learn these things. Or I should prepare more in the videos. Now then, this is another really cool guitar player I admire. Gary Lucas. This is the Order of Civility album. Gary Lucas and Gods and Monsters. Chime On, Swamp Thing, Climb the Highest Mountain are my favourites on this album. Of course, Gary was in the Magic Band with Beefheart. He was also Beefheart's manager. And this is his band, Gods and Monsters. I seen Gary Lucas live at the Fleece in Bristol, and he was on his own. And he was like talking about when he played with Beefheart, and he was playing Evening Bell and stuff, you know, and he was also talking about Jeff Buckley. I don't really know much about Jeff Buckley. I haven't really got into Jeff Buckley, but I was there to see the Beefheart side of the story, and he was playing like Sure Enough and Yes I Do, etc. And he had this for sale on CD on his stand, and I thought, well, I enjoyed the gig so much, I'd give it a go, and I really liked this album. So when I was in Terminal Records in Haverfordwest, Martin there had it on vinyl, so I bought it. So yeah, that's Gary Lucas. You would have heard Gary Lucas. He wrote Mojo Pin with Jeff Buckley, and he's on some Beefheart stuff. He's on the Dock at the Radar Station album. Now a great London R&B band, the Big Town Playboys, which is of course Mike Sanchez. Mike Sanchez is a boogie woogie piano player, and this was his band, the Big Town Playboys. This has got some lovely songs on it, like Amos Milburn's Down the Road, A Piece and Chicken Shack Boogie. It's got Shaky Lips on it, Happy Payday, Playboy Boogie, Come On. It was recorded live in the Dublin Castle. The Cardiff band Red Beans and Rice also recorded in the Dublin Castle, and they recorded a live album. So it was quite popular at the time to bring a live record out from there. But if you're into your R&B, you know, proper R&B, this is a good album to check out. From the 80s, the Big Town Playboys. My favourite Mississippi Fred McDowell song, I Do Not Play No Rock and Roll. This is Mississippi Fred, even though he's on the cover there with his K acoustic. He's playing electric guitar on this. And this is one of my favourites. He does Baby Please Don't Go, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, Kokomo Me Baby, That's Alright Baby, Red Cross Store, Jesus on the Main Line. Of course, Ry Cooder does that one as well, but it's an old folk song. And I mean, I think this album may have inspired people like R.L. Burnside and the guys at the Fat Possum Records label, because it's definitely got that vibe to it. I think the cover's really cool as well. And this come out on Capitol. Trying to see what year it is, but I can't quite see it. This is American Press. So that's old Mississippi Fred McDowell. Now we're going to do some soul. This is the Otis Redding soul album. My favourite song on the record is 6345789. It's one of my all-time favourite songs. And it's got other stuff on it like Just One More Day, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, which of course is a classic old blues song. Steve Cropper played guitar on this, and it's on the lovely Plum Atlantic label. And I was lucky enough to see Steve Cropper, and he signed it for me. But what a voice, Otis Redding, you know, all-time great singers. Wonderful record. You know, he does the Roy Ed tune, Treat Her Right, which is another favourite of mine. So yeah, Otis Redding, great soul classic, you know. Great cover as well. Plum Atlantic, what more could you want? Bit of blues now, well, blues rock. This is Taste's first album. Taste, of course, is Rory Gallagher. What a debut this is on Polydor. Blister on the Moon, Leaving Blue, Sugar Mama, Born on the Wrong Side of the Town, Same Old Story, a storming version of Muddy Waters Catfish. This is a great record. If you're into your blues rock and you never heard this, check out this. What a classic. Up next, doesn't feel like there's a record in this. Ah, there is. This is a Buffalo Springfield album again. Of course, Buffalo Springfield is Neil Young, Stephen Stills. And this has got classics on it by Neil, like Mr. Soul, Expecting to Fly. It's got Stills' classic on it, Bluebird. Neil's classic, Broken Arrow. I'm a huge Neil Young fan. I've got every record he's ever done. And I've got nearly all Stephen Stills' albums too. And of course, Richie Furay's in the band as well, Bruce Barlow. So yeah, Buffalo Springfield again. This is on Atlantic. This is a later press, but I have got a nice first press of the first Springfield album. Now a little bit of bluegrass. Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. The father of bluegrass music. Sensational mandolin playing by Bill Monroe. Of course, everybody knows Mule Skinner Blues. You know, Doghouse Blues, Tennessee Blues, Back Up and Push, Honky Tonk Swing. This is the original, authentic bluegrass, as it says on the back. Big bluegrass fan, Earl Scruggs and Lester Flatt. Of course, I think Lester Flatt did play in Bill Monroe's band for a time. And yeah, so we had to show a bit of Bill Monroe there, I thought. Oh, there's only 4 albums left now. These videos are getting longer and longer the more I rabbit on. This is Roy Buchanan's second album. I love the cover. Roy sitting there with Nancy, his 52, 53 Telecaster. My favourite on here, of course, is his tribute to Elmore James, which he plays with that slide. He does Roy Ed's Treat the Right as well. After Hours, 5-string blues. Absolutely class. Roy Buchanan. One of my all-time favourite telly guys. Now, this album is a cool album as well. Of course, it's the Travelling Wilburys, Tom Petty, George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison and Jeff Lynne. This is the first album they made. I mean, Handled with Care, still played by everybody today. Rattled, all the rockabilly bands do Rattled. And my favourite track on this album is Tweeter and the Monkey Man, Bob Dylan's epic story song about Tweeter and the Monkey Man. So there we are. The Travelling Wilburys, our first album. There's another album, they only made 2 records. And I haven't got the other one. I've got it on CD but not vinyl, so maybe that's one for the wants list. Now a bit more Welsh rock. This is Dave Edmonds, DE 7th. This has got from Small Things, Big Things Come. He does an NRBQ song called Me and the Boys on this. And of course he does one of my all-time favourite songs by Gannett Watkins, Deep in the Heart of Texas. And he does the Chuck Berry classic, Dear Dad. I'm a massive Edmonds fan. I've mentioned him loads and loads of times. You know, I mean, John Davis on bass, Dave Charles is on drums, Gannett Watkins is on piano, Mickey G on guitar. That's a classic Welsh rock and roll lineup, you know, that's the ultimate Welsh rock and roll guitar lineup. So there you are, Dave Edmonds. And then last but not least, this is a great live album, The Ventures. I'm a massive fan of The Ventures. Nookie Edwards, guitar player. Underrated in my opinion. But then this has got Wipeout on it, Caravan, Apache 65, Walk Don't Run, which I've done in my live set for donkey's years. And yeah, so that's The Ventures live on stage on the Liberty label. So there we are. There's another 20 albums I love that inspire me. Keep on watching these videos. I enjoy making them. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Cheers.